Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Vuvu and this is Vuvu Vena Reads. If you are new on here, please consider pressing the red subscribe button down below and joining the family. If you are a returnee, a member of the fam bam, welcome back fam, and thank you for joining me once again for VVR Reader Day 4. And if you have not seen me talking about this book on my socials or on my specifically on my TikTok, please do stay tuned because what a wow. And the book in question would be Weyward by Emilia Hart.
So Vena _reads is an amazing book reviewer, also YouTuber. She reviews books on YouTube, and if I'm not mistaken, she also has a blog as well. So please, if for your connection with literature, get in touch with or follow at VUVUVENA_reads. She is based in South Africa, and I think it is also extremely important to follow literary content creators who are based outside of the West and in continental Africa, because they do a really good job of bridging the gap.
We appreciate you, Vuvu, for bringing us Turning Pages and for bringing us your BookTube channel.
You know, this is a chance for people to actually see some people that I really enjoy.
Please consider pressing the red subscribe button down below, and if you're a returnee, welcome back fam.
Vuvu, you're amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, so I'm back with reviews. As you can tell, sorry, I was drinking water and I don't know what I did. Okay, I'm back with reviews. As you can tell, well, VVR Reader always puts me in the right space of mind and in the right mood for these kind of things, but it is definitely something that I love doing on the channel. Talking about books is something that I'm very passionate about, which is why I think it's easier for me to just do it on TikTok. Saves me the editing time, etc. But it's absolutely something that I love. So I did have like a reading vlog situation where I broke up the book into 4 parts over on my TikTok, and I gave updates here and there. I'm trying to make my reviews on the channel a little bit different going forward, so hopefully this will be the first of many. Wow, where did the English go? This will be the first of many, and this is a debut novel called Weyward by Emilia Rose. This copy I received from, not received actually, I got from the event that Jonathan Ball Publishers was hosting at the end of last year, where they had books for grabs, which I definitely saw the cover and I was on some and then I saw the back and I was like, yes. It says, they tried to cage us, but we are wayward women. Oh, no. It says, they tried to cage us, but a wayward woman belongs to the wild. We cannot be tamed. Okay, child. So this is definitely an arc. I think that the actual cover of the book looks something like this, if you're looking for it at bookstores. And this one says, discover the power of being wayward in 2023, the biggest debut, Weyward by Emilia Hart. And then I want to just read you the beginning of this and tell you a little bit about the author as per the book, and then we'll chat about the basic plot. Okay, so it says, the author firstly says, Emilia Hart is a British Australian writer. She was born in Sydney and studied English literature and law at the University of New South Wales before working as a lawyer in Sydney and London. Emilia is a graduate of Curtis Brown Creative's 3-month online novel writing course and was highly recommended in the 2021 Caledonia Novel Award. Her short fiction has been published in Australia and the UK. She lives in London. Okay, so then the start of this, in case you guys were wondering where the title comes from, right? It quotes from Macbeth. It says, the wayward sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine, thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace the charms wound up. Macbeth, Weyward is used in the first folio edition of Macbeth. In later versions, Weyward was replaced by Weird. Okay, so that just gives you a sense of what we're going into. And if you did read Macbeth, I do believe that there were 3 sisters in Macbeth that were, it was a long time ago, that were presumed to be witches or had possession of a certain type of magic that the society didn't quite agree with at the time, and therefore they were labeled as outcasts and dangerous, if you will, to the community. So that's where this kind of notion comes from, right? So the basic plots. Okay, so in this is kind of like a saga in the sense that it follows 3 women who are instrumental in the Weyward family from 3 different generations. The first woman that we come across is called Altha. She is from the 1600s. Then we come across Kate, who is in 2019, and then we come across Violet, who is in the early 1940s, right? So at the meeting of, we follow all 3 of them. Each chapter is divided in that nature as per the happenings of each of these 3 characters, which is very, 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 very well done. And it's like a seamless travel through back and forth through time, if you get what I'm trying to say. And we encounter each of these women when something major is taking part in their lives, and it involves some form of injustice, right, that has just happened to them for no particular reason except for what society has deemed them to be. And I want to call her the matriarch, but obviously as the eldest in this generational flow, Altha is by far my favorite character, but besides that, she is the key to the story that is unfolding, right? Then obviously follows Violet, who is in the 1940s, which is about 300 odd years later from Altha. And then 2019, sorry, we have Kate, who happens to be the grandniece to Violet, right? Okay, so we follow these 3 women, like I'm saying, at a point where they have a very major life-changing event happen in their lives. All of these events seem to evolve around the dominance of men in society and the kind of injustice they can inflict on females based on things that they may or may not comprehend, right? They being the male species, and how these women basically come to their own and reclaim their power in their own lives, even though they might continue living as outcasts in the societies that had deemed them other. I'm trying very hard not to give anything away, if you can tell. So all 3 of these women have injustices that have been enacted upon them by the male gender. Okay, and then the poetic nature of the story unfolds as a sense of self-reclamation, ownership of self, as well as the acceptance and the gathering of things that women in your heritage have left you over the years as a woman. It's a very, very, very powerful feminist work that Emilia has given us, and it is something that you could literally translate into any culture, any tribe, any country, any region. This is a gift, I want to say, to women from all walks of life. So let's get into these characters. Yeah. So the characters that I enjoyed all 3 characters, but it was quite easy to like Violet because she's quite witty. She is different. She owns the fact that she's different. She's inquisitive in a time that she's not meant to be inquisitive. She lives in an era where women are told that only certain things can be done by men and women can only do certain things, and she goes against that grain. even in her family setting, right? And her intelligence is just so tangible in how she is written that there was no way that she could be anything other than what she was. And that feistiness, that beauty in self knowledge that you see quite often actually in young girls is very well portrayed in her character. Absolutely loved her, but I very quickly put her second because my favorite had to be Altha. Altha, who's in the 1600s, is more of a stoic character. She is more strong, she's more fierce, but in a very subtle manner. She watches, she observes, and then she acts. She sees the bigger picture in a world that might not actually see her for what she is, that actually wants to ostracize her for her inherent gifts that she could not escape. And there's a strange love story in her character, right, that I don't want to give away, in her character story, that for me was quite endearing. And especially how her story ends up unfolding. Absolutely loved her for her resilience, for her focus on her path and her purpose, and how intentional she was as to how that would later affect generations to come. Then the third character that we have is a modern day character called Kate. Kate, for me, the biggest thing that I enjoyed about her character is the ability to gather herself, to come back to herself where she may have felt like she had given up possession of who she was at the hands of somebody who didn't actually love her. I absolutely love how through her we discover the entire story of her lineage, and how the dots then start to connect because of where she finds herself currently. I've already shared a bit about the author, so I just want to talk to you guys about her writing style. Ciao. Listen to me. This book is available on audio via script, but it is the kind of book that needs to be experienced on paper as well. So I did do a hybrid read, but initially, maybe for the first half of the book, I was very cheeky because I was like, how is she stringing these words and these sentences together in the manner in which she's doing it? I was salivating, I was enthralled, I was woocha. Like, listen to me, okay? There is a beauty in the manner in which Emilia Hart writes that you do not want to lose because you want to see it unfold on paper. It has so much power, and it is, ooh, it's magic, man, on its own. I don't know how to explain it. She is phenomenal when it comes to the pen, and I know this is only just a debut, but chat, if she has anything else coming out, put me up, put me on the list, I'm ready. And also because she is constantly tossing and turning between time zones, right? You would feel that jerking, let's say if you were reading another piece where the one character is speaking in the present, the other is speaking in the past, and there are memories and but you don't feel that. Like, it's so seamless, it flows so beautifully, and there's such a vividness to her writing that you can't help but picture these places, these things, these animals, these surroundings that she so delicately describes. The penmanship, 10 out of 10 minus nothing, okay? Nothing at all. So let's talk a little bit about the themes. The themes that she explores have a lot to do with female or feminine connection to nature, especially birds, insects, well, I would say nature in general, right? And how these two, the meeting of these two enhance the feminine power, and how it cannot be understood by the other gender, right? So for me, it really brought out the understanding of the woman's cycle being linked to the moon, the woman's inherent nature to nurture and to grow things, the woman's inherent nature to want to understand outside of themselves. And also there's a lot of friendship that is wound into the story, right? So the friendship that I'm talking about is with nature as well as with human beings, especially a sisterhood type of friendship. We get a sense of broken families. There are trigger moments which I feel like if I do share them might be spoilers, so I will not do that to you guys. But there are very intense themes around family, around broken families, around being an outcast, around sexuality, around the need for a man in the raising of a woman, the need or the lack of, I don't know how to put it. But at its core, I think this definitely is a feminist work that looks at the woman's place in every generation and the power that we yield without knowing it, and how that power can threaten a society that does not know what to do with it, if that makes sense. So there will be questions of Christianity, religion, institutions, various things that were acceptable back then as well as things that are acceptable in this present day and age. And with it, I feel like Emilia brings back or brings to the fore how alone as a woman you have power, but how together as you dig through your heritage you find a lot more power, as well as when you bond together with other women the power only enhances, right? I don't like this next part is about what I did and what I didn't like about the story. I really don't think there was anything I didn't like at every given turn. I looked at the thickness of this book and I thought, oh, it's gonna come a point where, you know, I won't lie to you, my least favorite story in the manner in which it unfolds is Kate's story. But even then, because of how it links to Arthur and Violet's story, I was engaged, enthralled under Emilia's charm. Okay, there was nothing there that I could say I absolutely hated the storyline, I absolutely hated this character, in the sense that I felt like it didn't fit into the book. Obviously there will be villains in the story, there will be characters that are really not meant to be liked, so definitely you will find that. But even in the creation of those characters, they play a vital role in the story, and I'm sure you get what I mean. So what I absolutely loved about this book is the fact that I feel like it definitely is a love story to women of all ages, all tribes, all nations throughout this planet. Something that I feel if you have in your possession or have on your bookshelf, that it is something that you should keep going back to, shared with other women. Make sure that it is a story that they also encounter in the manner in which you encountered, and they also get to feel the love that I feel has been encapsulated in this piece for women by a woman. I absolutely loved this book so much that it was my first 5-star read of the year. And I hope what I've said so far, without like try my best child not to spoil anything, because you know how we do here. I hope it has enthralled you though enough for you to want to pick it up, whether it's via audio, because the audio is quite good as well on script, or via hard copy, which you will not regret. Otherwise, thank you so very much for joining me for this review of Weyward by Emilia Hart, a debut. And you know we love debuts up in here. Wonderfully done. 5 out of 5 minus a nothing. Okay, otherwise, until next time, I truly do love you guys for choosing me, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of VVR VEDA. Bye now.